Okay, let's look at live query with SurrealDB and some Rust code. If you look at what I've got on the left here, let me just make this always on top. We've got some output from the database. What it is a select, so select all query, which is it's running in the background, so it updates in real time. To demonstrate this, what I'm doing is using surrealist.app to enter data into the database, and it'll update on the left-hand side as I run it. So already ran it with rating 2. Let's do rating 3. Rating is just a key, and 3 is a value. And same with review text. Review text is the key. Live demo is the value. Table's called review. I'm running this locally on localhost port 8000. And if I click send query, keep an eye on the left-hand side, and there you go. So if I do it again, so I'll show the code in a second, but I just wanted to really demonstrate this while I've got it working. And I hadn't planned on exploring this, but one thing led to another, and you know what it's like. So live query is one of the, I wouldn't say it's one of the selling points, but it's one of the kind of more unique things to SurrealDB. They've got a Rust SDK, which you might have seen me use in earlier videos. So what they're doing here is select the person table and listen for live updates. I'm using a table called review because that's what my particular table is based on. It's actually called review because that's it originates from the SurrealDB demo database. But that's not too important. Anyway, so let's just keep going. And if we just do one more. So if we were to want something more specific, we could actually do, there's the Rust code. So SurrealDB notification, just make that bigger and just have a quick read. Live queries return a stream of notifications. The notification contains an action that triggered the change in the database record and data itself. For deletions, the data is record before it was deleted. For everything else, it's the newly created record or updated record, depending on whether the action is create or update. So you're seeing in real time what's going on in your database. Now, that's maybe slightly useful, but what's more useful is when you start to identify certain keys that you may be more interested in. So that's doing from entire database. So you can tell it to send you a notification based on range, or listen to changes on a single record. So if you know you have a record which is important, which you need to know about when it changes. For instance, if you wanted to see the record for John, if and when it changed, I suspect it probably wouldn't be a person called John. It would probably be a certain stock ticker, and then price or bid or ask or something. Okay, so that is the SurrealDB side of things. Let's just close that and I'm just quickly going to show the code. Pretty much copied and pasted, so I'm far from an expert in SurrealDB, but I'm gradually working my way through it and getting bits and pieces to work from the examples and then modify it to do what I want to do with my own specific table names and keys and values. So stream, we create a stream which is basically db select. So that's similar syntax, using something called a resource from, which is different to what you may have seen with the more standard stuff that I've been doing. And then you have to say .live, the live stream. And this is specific to the Rust SDK, so I'm not going to cover other languages because we're interested in Rust. Well, let's sum. So if there is a notification, stream next, await, and then print the notification. In future, I'll probably do the next video where I start to pick out the specific keys and values, or watch for a unique single record to be changed. What did I add here? In the end, I only added... that was the one. In fact, let's just check if I do need that. I've got a feeling I do, so this is probably going to break it. Let's just run again. Yeah, so if you just go by the documentation, you'll get an error, and this is the error you'll get, and then you need to insert or add one of these using cargo. So, and cargo, we'll do a cargo add futures light. Sorry, this is a bit ramshackle, this video. I hadn't really planned it, but whilst I've got it working, I just wanted to capture it basically for my own, well, for my own use and just to share it in case it's of value to any of you watching. And there we go. So it's read the existing entries in the database. And then I'll just do one more demo just because this is interesting. There we go. You see you've got the notification there. So it's added review text, live demo. The rating was 5. 5. Just check there's no sleight of hand going on here. Yeah, futures light. So cargo add futures light. So let's look at an example of how to do a live query, but this time we're going to pass the response, and also we're going to put in some conditional logic so that it will only display the live query if the rating. So the review table has a field called rating, and if the rating is less than 2, then we'll print it. So imagine, if you will, a database where people are adding customer reviews, and then, for instance, the customer service department might want to only see or be notified as soon as they get a bad review. So we're using, let me turn off the inlay hints. So let me stream db.select review, so that's the table. Then we use .live, and then while let some notification equals stream.next await print notification. So print, that's not println, that's print, which is this function here. So this function takes the results. So record is the struct. So we have a notification with a struct of record inside it, which is our result, and then we match our result. We say if it's okay, and we take the notification, and then the action is the notification.action. Rating is the notification.data key .rating. Then we unwrap default because there could be a case where there is no review, because review in the struct that I defined was an option. Let review equal notification.data.review text. So when we run this, let's do. I'm going to have to. Let's make this bigger. So it's already running. If I bring up Surrealist.app, I'll send a query, and that rating was 4, so that was not going to get picked up. I've changed it to 2. It's less than 2, sorry. So there we go. If the rating is 1 or 0, then, so for instance, if we had a rating of 1 and the review was bad, there we go. So that is where we have data being entered, and on the back end we've got our Rust program, which is taking the live query stream, and if it is a match, then it will print it to the screen. And it's live, you can see it's live. So okay, more I click, the more reviews it puts there. So I'll just quickly show you the code. We'll just quickly go back to the code, and this is on GitHub if you want to see it in its full glory, but really it's just the SurrealDB example with my if statement put in and my parsing to match my struct, which is in models. There you see. So I've got public, which is the public ID, which is a thing. Thing is a record, colon, then an ID. We've got rating, which as I say was optional, and then we've got a review text, which is the string. So okay. Use SurrealDB notification. That's extra to what you saw earlier. And I'm just calling my struct, I'm calling it record, which I should probably change it to review, but the same principle applies, it's just renaming it. So really what we've done here, which is different, is we've passed the response and we've added the conditional logic. I don't think it's possible to do it using the actual select query. I may be wrong on that, but as I understand it, you just query the table, you can't pick out individual fields. Not sure about that, but that's food for thought for the future anyway. So I'll put a link to this in the description, and you're welcome to copy it. Thanks for watching.